Newsflash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee. Newsflash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.
Newsflash is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. So I've got my guests seated and ready for a very wonderful conversation. But again, I'm entreating all of you that you have to be part of the conversation that we're about to have. What you can do is to hop on Facebook. It is Joy Prime TV. You can hit the share button on Facebook, so everybody that you follow, that follows you, would know that we're currently live on your screens. Or you can take our WhatsApp number 055-157-5757. Let everybody know. Let us know what your thoughts are on the topics that we're about to discuss. And I need to let you also know that one of the things that I talk about on here is that when you are commenting or you're sending in your comments, please make sure that it is in relation to the topics that are being discussed. I don't want us swaying away so much from what the focus of the segment is. So please make sure that if you are talking about floods, you are focusing on floods and you are commenting on floods and no other thing. You can talk about floods and then add something different to it. That will be fine. That is excusable. I could take that. But please make sure that we stick to the topic. And so speaking about floods, we are going to delve into that particular conversation. We are going to look at the fact that government is embarking on flood mitigation exercise. And so, this is a conversation that has been had year on, because for the longest time we've had to face this. Earlier, I was telling you that I chanced on a video on social media yesterday. And in fact, maybe a number of you have seen this video, a video of Accra from 1995 when we were hit drastically with a flood that a number of people had lost their lives. It was so pathetic and it was so sad. Seeing that, after all those years, we are still, going through the same issue. And so, my heart goes out to every single victim of Monday's flood. Really, it's not something to joke about. It's not something to joke with. And I hope that with the inspection that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama did, and after seeing the state or how the floods had left Accra, that something drastic and urgent will be done about this, and we wouldn't have to find ourselves facing this next year, God willing, because next year, Ghana's turning 70. My goodness. Anyway, so all three of my guests are seated this morning, so let me introduce my guests to you. Starting from my extreme left is Derek Ejekum, who is a member of the New Patriotic Party's communications team. Good morning.
Good morning, Esiediwa.
How are you?
By God's grace, we are doing well. We are doing fine. Just that the week hasn't been proper.
Okay.
The week hasn't been proper.
Yeah,
but
definitely. Yeah.
By the grace of God, we are doing well.
Okay. We thank God that you're doing well. And seated next to Derek is Selorm Dzramado, who is a leading member of Arise Ghana. Good morning, Selorm.
Good morning, Esiediwa.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
I heard you were affected by the flood on Monday.
Severely. Yeah, of course. Severely affected by this devastating flood. This will be one of my several experiences with floods in Accra. But this very one was more devastating than those I have witnessed or experienced in the past. The June 3rd, the infamous June 3rd, pale in contrast to what happened on Monday. When it started, it was around 7 a.m. And because where I live on a higher ground. But usually what happens is that when my neighbors are grappling with the flood, what I do is to join them, to rescue, to evacuate, to help them salvage some of their belongings. And it was exactly what that spirit that led me on Monday to jump into the flood water to help the vulnerables, especially the children, women, and then the elderly who were there at the time to rescue them. But at a point, it was not even an evacuation; it was a rescue exercise. There was one time I was the flood water was waist deep, so in about 30 or 40 minutes time, I was completely out of depth. So this time I had to deploy my tongue gift that is swimming, because if you live around the tongue areas, that is at the Dome where I come from, we do fishing there. So if you are there, you will well be acquainted with swimming. So I had to start swimming, to salvage stuff. Then I realized the water started entering my room. So, and again in the room, it got to the waist level. It was waist deep in the thing. It happened 2011 to 2011. I experienced a similar thing where I lost all my books. As for the books, when I'm going through that thing, the first thing that comes to my head to place my books. I placed loads of premium on my books.
No books.
So I lost books in that 2011 flooding. It was only one book that I was able to salvage, and I use it as a souvenir. That is a book, Urban Economics, which also talks about this, how to plan cities, how to plan areas. It was the only book I was able to salvage in 2011. I was hard hit. And but in response from the powers that be, we have still not had any duty bearers pay visits to us, bring some relief items to us. I don't know what is it about our area. Our area, people only visit when it's elections. So if this thing had happened in 2028, politicians would have been beaten, path to our place. Yes, because I remember 2011.
Do you mind sharing the area?
I live close to your area.
To here?
Here.
Oh,
correct.
Okay.
So 2011, I remember His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo came to that place to acquaint himself with the flooding situation. And but then this gentleman who was with him, Mr. Lord Comey, and then I asked them, Your Excellency, what are you doing? What's your mission here? Then Lord Comey answered that he's here to acquaint himself with the extent of devastation. So when he becomes president, he would put measures in place to avert it. And I said, Abba, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo lives in Hema. So why does he have to be even making this tour of visitations, you understand?
Yeah.
So clearly, for the optics, you understand, for the optics. So this flooding situation has exposed the kind of leadership Ghana needs. Unfortunately, democracy doesn't produce that kind of leader.
Okay.
That's the unfortunate thing about it. Democracy produces well-spoken, well-mannered, those individuals who, this man is so polite, he's so courteous, he's smooth talking.
And it's one of the major things that actually sways us. So
exactly. So that is
in voting.
Exactly. Yeah. You understand? This guy is cool. He has a cool temper. He has a calm demeanor. Yeah. This is the kind of person we want to be the president of this republic. But in a continent like this, those kind of leaders usually you don't see their impact, because this, you see, today we are going to get into the thing.
Okay,
So, but
hold on and let me introduce.
I would
like my brother.
Let me introduce. Godwin.
No, because you are not see the kind of insensitivity. He is not interested to even listen to a flood victim who is sharing a partner with.
But the last time I told you that I've lived in Odona before.
Hello.
And I've experienced flooding situation firsthand before. And so I sympathize with you. I've been there
You
before.
never did, even when you came here.
But I didn't know you were affected.
You are positioning yourself, you are positioning yourself as the alternative to the incumbent. You understand? So some of these things we pick them.
All right, let me introduce my third guest.
Am I aware
So
you were affected?
You are not aware.
I'm not aware.
Oh, okay.
Gentlemen. Yeah, he wasn't. He's now hearing about it.
Getting to know that.
Yeah, he's not hearing about it. All right,
okay.
so introducing my third guest to you is Godwin Ayaba Mahama, and he's a member of
Mahama must give him like 5,000 this morning.
Is it?
Yeah, he's a flood victim.
Okay. He's a member of NDC's communications team. Good morning, Godwin.
Good morning, my dear sister.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing very, very well. The moment you start, I saw you scribbling down things. I don't know. Well, you're writing down.
Basically, we are here to educate and give out facts from the government perspective relative to issues on the floor burner. Okay. So it has become very necessary for me to jot one or two things.
It's very necessary.
So that I'll be able to speak to the subject matter. But I want to assure my brother that I'm very much aware he's privy to the fact that on Tuesday, through the directive of the President, Parliament approved the 350 million Ghana cedi to support the affected individuals, so long as the Monday flood is concerned. Bear in mind, a holistic assessment and some work needs to go into it. It is not an issue of somebody just saying, I've been affected, then government will have to release money to. If not, after a few years, when auditing is being done, you realize they will tell you, we didn't give the money to the right and affected people. So it is a process, and I want to assure him that he will have his fair share, if only truly and truly he is affected. It is not to doubt him. It is not to doubt him. I'm not doubting you at all. I'm not doubting you at all. But what I'm saying is that proper assessment will be made by relative authorities, so long as this disbursement of the funds is concerned. So he should just relax.
All right.
Everything
it's actually one of the things, and I'm coming. I'll get to you. It's one of the things that we are going to talk about to really understand, because we are aware of Parliament approving 350 million Ghana cedi relief funds for victims of the flood. And so I believe that Godwin is going to do us the honors and properly explain to us that how everything is going to happen, how people are going to receive their funds. Somebody like Selorm, who has been greatly affected by the flood from Monday, that happened on Monday. Also, Parliament calls for financial support for market women who were affected by Monday's floods. So we're going to get into these two topics. They are both under the same topic. And so please get ready to join us on social media. Again, it is Facebook. On Facebook, it is Joy Prime TV. And our WhatsApp number is 055-157-5757. My name is Asiedua Akomian, I'm a host for News Flash. And I've got Derek from MPP. I've got Selorm from Arise Ghana. And I've got Godwin from NDC. Now, let's start right with you, Godwin.
Okay, Maria. Thank you very much, and a very good morning to your listeners and viewers for the great opportunity you have given us to share our thoughts on this subject matter. Before I delve into the issue, let me extend on behalf of government our sympathies to the affected victims. Okay. This is a natural disaster that nobody has a direct hand in. Okay. As the president said, for a very long time, over 10 years, this is the first time Ghana has experienced that gravity of rainfall. I remember on Sunday...
Oh, sorry to cut you. Let me alert the crew in the back that... Can we please get the video from the 1995 flood that happened, so we can show some of our viewers who hadn't seen or who haven't seen this on social media? Because I was talking about it, so I want everybody to really understand exactly what I was talking about. Yeah.
Okay, so as I was saying, so it's been a very long time Ghana has experienced this level of rainfalls, and that is a fact. That
Godwin, pardon me. I'm really sorry. All right. So viewers' discretion is advised on this particular video. So this is a video from 1995, a flood that happened in Accra. Let's take a look.
On the surface of the water, and whole loads of rain that could be estimated at maybe.
That was 1995. And you saw Ghana's former president, the late Flight Lieutenant Rawlings, Jerry John Rawlings, and 31 years later, here we are. Anyways, Godwin.
Okay.
Please continue.
I think. Let me start all over.
Please do.
Okay.
You changed from the natural disaster conversation.
But it's a natural disaster.
Okay.
Why you caused it? MPP caused it.
Okay.
Godwin, please, I'm listening to you.
Okay, so as I said, this whole situation is out of human action. Human beings do not have direct connection to some of these things. That is why they call them natural disaster. Okay. For a very long period of time, Ghana hasn't experienced this kind of downpour of rains, and the statistics speak to that effect.
Right.
And that should tell you that whenever you want to assess situations of this nature, aside the reasons or the fact that people's action and the fact that we build on waterways may have caused this, we have to also look at the gravity of the rains, the intensity of the rains, because it's also force part of the reason why some of these things happen. So the fact is that for a very long period of time, we have not experienced this kind of rains before. But that said and done, what we must also know is that after the rains, you then have to think and ask yourself, what is the government doing about these situations?
True.
So that is when you get to know whether the government is sensitive or insensitive, whether the government is thinking about its citizens or not thinking about its citizens. And there have been several narratives surrounding this whole thing as to whether what the president did, I mean, using the chopper to assess the devastating effect of the flood, whether it amounts to he being sensitive or not being sensitive.
What do you think?
No, what we must understand is that every situation requires a certain approach. We can't continue to be doing what we'll be doing always, whilst we are not getting any result. That is one. Two, almost every year we experience packet of flood. Even last year there was flood. Last 2 years there was flood. The whole 8 years of the NPP, in all the rainy seasons there was flood, and that is a fact. Just that you can't compare all those floods to what happened on Monday. Take note, what the president needs to do, or what the government needs to do, is to assess the gravity of the damage or the flood and find solution to it. I asked, and let me ask here again, somebody should point to any community within the Greater Accra region that in some areas didn't experience flood. Almost the whole of Greater Accra region. Almost the whole of Greater Accra region. Every community had some pocket of flood so long as Monday's issue is concerned. So if the president will want to go by land, you ask yourself, how many days is he going to use to tour even just Wager to assess the devastating effect of the flood? How many days will it take him to come to Adabraka, Amasamai, Anyasotum, East Legon, Joulu, Sprinters? If you don't take care, it's going to take him more than 3 months. And he wouldn't be able to tour even the whole of Greater Accra region. By then, some of the affected areas may have come back to normalcy. So he wouldn't even see the reality when the thing actually happened. So we needed a fast and efficient approach to be able to assess the entire region to see how far the flood went. So he was able to use less than 2 hours to tour the whole of Greater Accra region, and yet he was able to see the extent of the damage. I don't know whether you are getting me. Because today, I know the MPP's flag bearer was in 1 or 2 areas. Let's ask how many communities was he able to go. He was able to go to even just one community. Just one community. And as my brother rightly said, that most times when these things happen, people don't even see government officials in their area, right? That's what you said. It is because you cannot tour the whole of Greater Accra by land in such circumstances. But the government wants to also know what has actually happened in the whole of Greater Accra. So what will be the approach? What will be the best means to be able to do that? By land? No. Absolutely no. There is no way he could use just a day to tour the whole of Greater Accra from east, west, and south. So he needed to do what he did. And truly, he was able to do that within a few hours. Unless somebody points to me that upon using the chopper, he couldn't assess the entire Greater Accra to know the level of flooding that happened on Monday. They can decide to impugn some reasons and meaning to what he did. However, I asked, how many communities was Bawumia able to go? So should I also say he didn't come to my area? Should people also say that
responsibility of Bawumia should be going around?
I'm making a point.
Oh, come on.
Should people also
people
say
are
that,
dying and this is the
should people also say that because he went to community A and didn't come to community B, so he didn't do well? That is the next point. Then let me move to the next thing that the government has also done. On Tuesday.
Godwin, can I ask you a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Let me ask you. So, using the chopper, was it to look at how far the flooding had gone, or to look at the intensity or the severity?
How far and the severity? Because I've told you that it's been a very long time Ghana has experienced such flooding. So you cannot use last year's approach of assessing the level of flood to do that of this year, because the circumstances are not the same. You get the point? The circumstances are not the same. So you cannot be repeating such approach. You can't. That is why he needed to use this approach. And bear in mind, it is not about him, it is about the government. So whilst he was doing that assessment using the chopper, other government officials were also there in the communities. Physical presence. The regional minister...
Okay, so he himself hasn't yet been to any of the community.
I'm saying that. We are talking about the initiative of the government.
Okay.
Yes or no? So other government officials, such as the mayor, regional minister, local government minister, they are all on the grounds. But as I said, he needed just a few hours to be able, because as at the time he was in the chopper, it was still drizzling. It was still drizzling. So he wanted to see the level of devastating of the flood, even as at the time it was even happening. And there was no way he could tour the whole of Greater Accra within a short period of time.
Okay.
So he needed to do what he did. The next point also is that it is an issue of going to the aid of the affected. As at Tuesday, he directed the Minister of Finance to release 300 million from the contingency fund. Even as at Tuesday, before the passage or before the resolution in Parliament, I think the minister had taken 350 million instead of even, rather than, I think, because the president directed 300 million, at the end, it moved from 300 to 350.
Right.
Because I'm sure they may have looked at the some circumstances for which they needed to add that 50 million to it. So as we speak, 350 million has been passed, resolved by parliamentarians to be released to affected victims. And I think the government has been sensitive in that direction. Part of the money will go into relief items, whilst others will go into solving some of these pocket of issues that arise due to the flooding issue. As we speak, the government has also instituted and appointed one Brigadier General Foster Okain Yeboah, who is a Director General. He's supposed to lead a joint Ghana Armed Forces team on the post-flood issues, which will include demolition, making sure that people who have built on waterways are done with it. Their buildings need to be demolished. This morning, around 11 a.m., he's going to address the press and let the entire general public understand their scope of work, areas they will be dealing with, and what that needs to go into their operations. As we speak also, we are all aware of the Big Push project. Many people have asked, what is the government doing? What has the government done since they took office in January 2025? Naturally, when you are into the construction of roads, it comes with what we call the drainage systems. So most of the Big Push projects includes the construction of drains and other construction facilities that would help curb some of these issues. So for me, it is an ongoing issue because the rains are still with us. We haven't gone past the rainy season. But government is poised to make sure that even post the rainy season or post the flooding that occurred on Monday, government will be able to put concrete measures. Concrete measures. But one thing we must also not lose sight of is that as citizens, I think it is a high time we have some attitudinal change on some of these issues of sanitation. There has been several videos from communities where you see individuals dumping refuse in gutters, refuse that they have gathered in their rooms. Late in the night when they realize everybody is asleep, they come out with it and dump it into the gutters. When you watch most of the flood, on top of it are full of filth. Full of filth. And you ask yourself, where are those filth coming from? Most of them are coming from the human activities. So as human beings and as citizens, I think it is a high time we have some attitudinal change, direct attitudinal change when it comes to issues of sanitation. Because we are those that are mostly affected. We are those that are mostly affected. So it will be very good that we change that. Then on my last point, it's also on the chiefs and opinion leaders. Most times they end up selling those stool lands and other stuffs. We beg of them. We don't intend to interfere in their chieftaincy issues. However, their actions and inactions must be to the collective good of their community. Not only about the fact that the stool needs money or they need money, so whether the place are designated for residential or not, they still would have to go ahead and sell those land. We beg of them. Because I'm very sure each of the district assemblies have designated or indicated places that are not meant for residential purposes. So some of them may fall within the jurisdiction of the stool. Some may fall within the jurisdiction of the stool. Some may also not. But what I'm trying to say is that let us be careful on the kind of land we sell to citizens. And citizens, we must also be aware. Those citizens must be aware. Citizens, we must be aware. Let's do thorough checks before we purchase any land. Let's make sure that all details are collected on whatever property we want to acquire. Because it becomes so painful that you spend a whole lot of money, billions and millions of Ghana cedi, to acquire property, and within a twinkle of an eye, you lose everything.
I concur 100% with
you. You lose everything.
On this. 2 days ago, I was saying on Prime Morning that I actually found out that Chado used to be an estuary. It used to be an estuary. So, and then now it's a habitat. It's a luxury habitat.
That's a point.
If I should put it that way, where very beautiful structures have been put up there, and real estate development is going on there. It's very interesting.
Even not Chado alone.
A part of Chado. I mean,
East Legon Hills.
Yes.
East Legon Hills.
East Legon Hills.
You get the point. So let us be careful as citizens. Let's be careful as chiefs and opinion leaders.
Right.
Then together, government will also do its part.
Okay.
But I just want the entire Ghanaians to understand that the government led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has not lost sight of what actually happened on Monday. Monies have been made available, and as we speak, teams has been constituted to see to the post-flood issues, which I'm very sure that we are going to go into.
Don't worry, yes, I'll let you go into that. Let me come to Selorm.
No, I thought you would go to the alternative.
But no, I don't. You know why I don't want to?
No.
Because he was already heated up.
Oh no, go to him.
No.
Oh, you can go to.
No, go to him.
There has to be that break. So please, Selorm, before I go to him, I will.
No, today is a holiday.
Yes, it's a holiday. Exactly.
It's a holiday, and this is a very emotive matter. So
you have to observe it as such.
Exactly. So it's a holiday. I'm sure he has the composure to give us a good show.
Derek.
Yeah. So we go to Derek.
Derek, are you ready?
I see you.
Okay.
You have just heaved a sigh of comfort.
I see you.
Yes, Derek.
I indicated earlier that I have experienced flooding before, and I said it here the last time that during my final years in school, I decided that I want to make my family proud, and so I will leave the four corners of the University of Ghana. I was a student of the affiliate campus, City Campus, and so I won't want to be staying in the hostel. That was my understanding. So I found a space around Odona, and then I rented where the Total filling station is. And so in 2020, sometime during the election, the next elections of that elected President Isaac J. Hyde, the current Deputy National Youth Organizer for the MPP, that election was held in Islamic University.
Okay.
So when I paid for the space, painters were painting and renovating the space just so that I would feel comfortable. The landlord came and told me that I should have shelves in my room. And I'm like, I had a provision shop and I maybe be because as a young boy coming from Kumasi, what I knew shelves for was for shops and all of that. So telling me that in my room that I'll be sleeping, that I want my comfort, I should have my shelves in there. I didn't understand the situation, so I threw it somewhere. When that next election in Islamic University, any student leader who is watching this show this morning will attest to the fact that it rained heavily at Islamic University. I was there, fighting for Isaac J. Hyde to become the news. My phone was ringing, I wasn't even paying attention to it. So I went somewhere and I saw my landlord had called me about 18 times. I was shocked and scared because I was thinking that maybe our place had been engulfed by fire or something. I didn't even think about flood. He called me, we spoke for about 32 seconds. To say, it's Legon. Me say shelves now me catch us say, yeah. And I'm said there. And he said, and he hung up.
Really?
So I didn't even understand that. And my neighbor called me that where am I? Our whole place is flooded. Sat on a motorbike from East Legon. I got to Odona here and it was devastating. Devastating.
You had lost everything.
I didn't take a single item from my room. A single item. Because the flood situation went as high as my door level.
Wow.
And so everything inside.
But even the shelves wouldn't have helped.
It wouldn't have even solved any problem in the first place. But per the description of the shelves he wanted me to make, maybe I could have put my laptop or maybe my... I don't know what I could have kept there. But at the end of the day, every single person that was there lost everything. And so I got to understand why it was just like a story building, but some people had their items on top of the building. That is the last floor of the building. That people were sleeping there.
It happens. So they had found a way of securing
they are living in it. So when it comes to matters of flood, I for once don't want to politicize it, because if you have not experienced it before, you will take it for a joke.
Okay.
You would think that it is the normal days to exonerate and sink praises of some people if you haven't experienced it before. And I kid you not, the trauma you go through as a Kumasi boy, having to know that final year student, my laptop, my books, my mattress, everything of mine was spoiled. And now I had to go back to the campus that I decided that I'm living for peace, for comfort, and for whatsoever. And whenever I came for lectures, I'll go to either Tudu or Tema Station or Mokola, and I'll buy a trouser or a shirt for the next day's activity. And that's how I survived my final year. And so when it comes to matters of flood, I for once, do not want to look at it from the lens of MPP or NDC. Because you see, at the time I was MPP, I was by then Tescon, whatever, I was by then MPP. Everybody knew me as an MPP person, but I wasn't saved. The area that has NDC winning all the time, none of the people were saved. And so it is not a matter of MPP NDC. It is not a matter of singing the praise of some people. Yes, of course, these things, no man has control over the magnitude of rain that must fall. But we have human activities and interventions that could have salvaged the plight. And that is where the worry has always been. That is where the troubles have always been. You talk about the fact that the President, Dramani Mahama, needed to sit in a chopper to assess the situation firsthand. 3.5 years as Vice President. 4 years Mahama won as President. 18 months as President. And you are telling me that a canker that has lived with us in about 4 decades, President John Dramani Mahama needed to be in a chopper to assess the situation. When he came as a President Mahama too, there have been progress reports on the need for Godwin and all of that. And so are you telling me that in all of these circumstances, President Mahama was not briefed? In all of these circumstances, are you telling me that President Dramani Mahama wasn't privy to all of these conversations? Why do we want to do this to ourselves as a nation? Why? Why do we want to do this to ourselves as a nation? When the World Bank report, as far back as in May, has told us that it is the government's quest to keep good economic indicators on our books. And so they are failing to continue the Garrett projects as they had indicated. And you are telling us that Mahama had to sit in a chopper to assess the situation firsthand, and then Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia was able to talk just about 2 or 3 communities. Who is the duty bearer in this conversation? He went.
But he's talking about the fact that in the chopper he was able to see how far the damage had gone.
And so what? And so would that bring the 37 people back?
Was that not necessary? To see how far it had gone? Was that not necessary?
Selorm has lost every single item in his room, and you think it is necessary and necessity. You see, the kind of politics we do in our country. It is always the case that we not necessarily may have to impress the people, but when you are sympathizing with the people, you do it well. I said well. It is for that reason that money is good, but there are certain friends that may never forgive us because we fail to show up for them on their wedding day, no matter how much we give them. There are some friends that may never be able to forgive us because we failed to show up for them when they lost a relative or a parent. No matter how much money we gave them to support them, sometimes presence matters. In these circumstances, presence do matter. And so you sit as a President of the Republic of Ghana and you think that to assess the situation first, and then there was no need. If indeed you had regional ministers and mayors on grounds assessing the situation, what was the point in you flying up there? Is it the first time you're experiencing something like this?
To see how far the damage had gone.
How far what? The damage had gone.
Yes.
And that is the reason for their releasing of 300 million, 350 million.
Were we not able to see the damage? Were we not able to see it?
But I said, well,
the aerial view of the havoc that had been caused, were we not able to
And
see?
was that necessary?
You believe it wasn't necessary?
What was necessary to be done was the continuation of the Garrett project. How necessary is President flying up there? If it is to rain again today, would there be a solution? The meteorologists have indicated that higher rains are about to fall.
Yeah.
And so will flying up there solve the problem? Last week we sat here and said that the danger of our country is the quest of the finance minister to become a president. And so he, in any event, is trying to project himself. And the World Bank has exposed this conversation that the governments are quest to keep good books. And so they have decided not to continue the Garrett.
Is that what the World Bank said?
Please let him finish.
I'm only asking, is that what the World
Please
Bank
let him
said?
finish.
Oh, but you can read the report for
Derek,
yourself. You read to how you understand and interpret it as how you may want it. And so please,
Derek,
your own member of the finance committee, Honorable Ataisa, said on Joy, your mother station, Joy News, when he was interviewed with the Honorable Kojo Oponkom, the former minister for Works and Housing. And Ataisa alluded to that fact that they needed to stabilize their economy, they needed to keep good books and all of that. And so their fiscal control measures, for that reason, they didn't release funds for the contractors to continue the implementation of the Garrett project. And so let's even put aside what World Bank that we may even have to listen to them have said. What your member of parliament and member of the finance committee said was that. And so what are you telling us? And we wait for 37 lives to be lost. 37 lives to be lost. In one of the interviews that I saw on TikTok, a mother said that he had lost a son who was fending for her.
Yeah.
And every day the son gives him 40 Ghana cedis. And now she had lost her son to this thing that we could have avoided. To this that we could have avoided. And you think that keeping good books and releasing 350 million that you would want to use 250 million for relief items, even if you are to split the money for the 38,000 people, each will get around 6,000 cedis. Will 6,000 cedis salvage what Selorm had gone through? So governments can release this amount of money, but fail to continue the Garrett project. When the entirety of our 4 years that we went on the Garrett project, we used about 550 million to get to about 40%. And that 350 million could have done about 25 or 30% in addition. We may not have been having this conversation here and now. And that is the problem that we may have to look at. And that is the concerns that we may have to address. It is not a matter of you fly in the sky to assess the situation and so what? And so the 37 people will come back to life. When we could have, as a nation, paid attention to some of these things. But of course, I say this all the time, it is the nature of the NDC. They care less about us. They are just in wanton display of settings and aesthetics to please the ordinary Ghanaian. And so they may want to come up and then appear as though they are good people. Look at what is displaying on our screens. Just look at Selorm, my brother seated there. Just look at people that have lost their vehicles. The Range Rovers, the Tacomas. People have lost their belongings in their homes.
Joy Prime, can we see their pickup there?
Joy Prime's pickup.
Yeah, it's true.
Your pickup is part of the casualties.
Yeah.
And you are singing the praise of the government that Mahama needed a few hours to assess the situation. How insensitive can you be? And I say this all the time that it is because maybe my brother here has not experienced flooding situation firsthand.
I've experienced more than you've done.
Well, you didn't talk about it.
But why should I have to?
You may not, because you see, if you have, you will sympathize with the people.
Didn't I?
You will understand their situation firsthand, and you will appreciate the fact that it was better for the president to have flown whatever that he did.
Okay, all right. I'll calm down. Take some water. I'll come back to you. All right, Selorm.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. But before I delve into the topic, let me say a very good morning to all your cherished and esteemed viewers who are glued to their set watching News Flash on Joy Prime, especially my people in Central Town constituency, North Town constituency, and South Town constituency. Central Town, Adiduma specifically, was also hit by this flooding on Monday. They were devastated by the Monday flooding. So I commiserate with them. I sympathize with them.
Yes, please.
The topic on the table for discussion is that government has constituted a team that will be led by a brigadier general to superintend flood mitigation measures. That is the topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. But it will be very difficult to discuss that without discussing the approach of the number one gentleman of the land to this flooding thing, because they are intertwined.
Okay.
Because the number one gentleman of the land, it is on his say-so that this flood mitigation measure thing will be done. Mm-hmm. It is on his say-so. Mm-hmm. The gentleman of the land, mm-hmm. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, according to the Constitution of Ghana, specifically Article 58, says that he takes precedence over everybody in this country, the president. The president's security, the security of the president is always paramount. The president decided to be in the chopper to see for himself the extent of the devastation that the flood wreaked on the citizens of this country or residents of Accra. The president must have been moved by something that he saw. What moved him to hop onto the chopper? Because the president couldn't have just, in the vacuum, decided to just hop onto a chopper and be, hovering around looking at what? Something must have moved him to hop onto the chopper. He saw something, okay? And what he saw, I believe, was what was happening to the people in the flood waters.
Yeah.
Good. So he decided, I believe, on the advice of his handlers, to hop onto the chopper, to have a panoramic view of the extent of the devastation. I would not sit here to fault the president for hopping onto the chopper to have a panoramic view of the situation. He did right. But after watching, after going around, to have that panoramic view of the devastation, what stopped the president from now going onto the ground? Nobody is saying that the president should tour all the affected places. It is never done anyway.
Yeah.
Even in advanced democracies, where you have this hurricane, where you have this Katrina, president leaders only visit one or two. It's called symbolism. Because there you are displaying empathy, compassion, and altruism. So the president could have done both. Panoramic view, now on the ground, let me go to Alajo. I don't think anybody in their right senses will be faulting the president for choosing Alajo. Because, throughout this flooding thing, there are areas that are known as flood-prone areas. So if today, an area that has never been hit in that manner was hit, the first thing that will come to mind would be, then how about places that are traditionally known for this flooding thing? What will be their circumstance now? Let me go there. So you go to, say, Alajo. You go to Odona. You go to those areas. So you are balancing, you are demonstrating what you saw. What you saw in the air with what is happening on the ground.
Yeah.
Why leaders even go to places and have handshake with victims? If you have never experienced that, you underrate it and call it settings. But there's a reason a leader must even have a handshake. There's a reason a leader must have a hug, a bare hug with a victim of a situation of that nature. There's a reason. But the president of the republic works with people. And this is my advice to the president. because he's a president. We invested a lot into this president's comeback. And it's the reason I don't want him to fail. Because if this president fails, it will be an embarrassment to some of us. And some of us will be compelled to forever shush in discussing national issues, especially electing leaders for this country. Okay? That is why I am the self-appointed member of this administration responsible for pointing out the ills of the administration, what the administration is failing at, what the administration isn't doing. That is my task, and it's gratis, pro bono. I don't take salary for it. Because the president has appointed over 5,000 people. My brother here is one of them.
I'm not an appointee.
You are not an appointee of the...
No, I'm not an appointee of the...
You don't work with this government?
I said I'm not an appointee.
Of the president?
There's difference between an appointee. I'm not an appointee.
Okay.
Yes.
You are not an appointee of President Mahama?
I'm not an appointee, simpliciter.
Okay. So he is not an appointee. My brother Mahama is not an appointee of the Mahama administration. Okay. All the over 5,000 appointments that he has done, their task is to tell the president what they have done. Essentially. Okay? Their KPIs. To talk about their KPIs. There is nobody responsible for pointing out what the government is failing at. And that is the task I have taken. It is an arduous task, but I believe I will do it with panache and oomph.
You will kill us.
Are you done? So I proceed. I don't want to kill you.
No, proceed.
So I proceed.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Eziedua.
Hi.
The President of the Republic is an accomplished historian. He is somebody who has, for considerable number of years, dealt and hobnobbed with those in the Inkri fraternity. I mean the Fourth Estate. So the President is acutely aware of what leaders do in times of crisis. The President knows that. Because history is replete with leaders who fail to act in time and what the flack they receive. Okay? You know, even when you choose to visit areas like that, even your gap, the attire you wear, counts. Elsewhere, when you are visiting places like that and you are in your long sleeves, you may be taken on by the people there. You've got to roll up your sleeves. It means you are ready to even get your hands dirty. You understand? Okay. The president, his visit, I don't think the president just, oh, Charlie, let's go, let's organize this thing and let me hop onto the air or into the air and have a panoramic view of the situation. No, his advisors would definitely also make input, even if the president suggested that. But you know one thing about this leadership thing, even absolute monarchs and despots, they are not impervious to the influence of their immediate associates. Check the pharaohs, how their inner circles, how they influence them to take some decisions that sometimes they later regret. So if we say that the president, after having the panoramic view of the situation, should have touched base with the people, we are not asking for too much. And it's still not late for the president to do so. But you know what happened? The president and his handlers decided to add insult to injury by organizing an event called National Thanksgiving. Myself, when I saw that thing, I became incandescent with anger, rage.
Why?
Why?
Yes.
God himself was angry.
How?
How?
Yes.
What were they thanking God for? That we were wallowing in the mud, still trying to salvage our stuff. It was ill-timed.
The Bible says...
No, yeah, you are going to say that. I will give you another verse.
Yes, the Bible says... The Bible,
in all things, give thanks to the...
all things.
Give thanks to...
Yes.
To God.
To God.
Right, okay.
Yes.
The Bible says, until you stop your iniquity, until you stop your iniquity, you will continue to wallow in your misery. The Bible also says that. Check.
But it shouldn't stop us from saying...
No, because have you stopped your iniquity? Have you stopped your iniquity and you are thanking God?
Us from saying thank you to God.
Thank you to who?
Whatever it may be.
Pastor C.
So you don't know?
Whatever the case may be. Selorm.
Yes.
Whatever the situation may be, it shouldn't stop us from saying thank you to God.
So thank you to God for...
Whatever losses you may have incurred, whatever gains you might have made, provided the Bible says that we should thank God in all situations, we will still go on our knees. It's a must that you go on your knees as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, as someone who believes in God, no matter what.
Pastor,
I have actually made an incursion into your area of what you love, and that is what you have started displaying.
Yes, I love God.
Yes, I'm sorry to tell you.
Okay.
That love for God. God is a practical God.
Okay.
The God we worship is a practical God.
Indeed,
he's a pragmatist.
Right. Yes.
Okay, but here we tend to make God just like a miracle working God. That is what is deepening our woes.
Republic.
That is what is deepening our woes. God is a practical God.
Okay.
So you don't sleep at the switch and start suffering misery and you're telling God that, oh God, I thank you for... God will continue to push and plunge you into that misery deeper because you love it. Okay, you love your situation. Okay? Look, I said it was ill-timed. I know that the program was, it was a scheduled program. It was scheduled to take place on that day, but it could have been postponed. Okay? That program should have been postponed. But don't worry, somebody will say, okay, so if they organize National Thanksgiving service, how would that even ameliorate the situation of the people or exacerbate their situation? Somebody will ask that question. So it will neither ameliorate or exacerbate the situation. Okay? The president is a devout Christian. I know. So for the president to engage in that, me, where I sit and with my relationship with God, I still see that thing as ill-timed. But this is about faith. But I know in the heart of hearts with the people who congregated on that day, that place, especially those bishops and pastors and imams who congregated there, they were simultaneously inhabiting two things, facts and faith. The fact is that Ghana continues to sink as far as flood is concerned. Faith is that one day we will come out of it without doing anything. We will come out of it. That is the faith. So simultaneously living between facts and faith. Believing that one day we will come out of this because we worship a miracle working God. Okay, so definitely we will be out of the woes. Then the fact on the ground is that the flooding situation in Accra is exacerbating. Okay? So me, where I sit, I will move with the fact that the flooding situation in Accra is exacerbating. We've got to do something, okay, about it. 1995, you showed it. What's the difference between what happened in 1995 and what happened on Monday?
Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So we think that the whole that one, the 1995 one, there was no National Thanksgiving service. So, okay, let's wait to see whether this National Thanksgiving service that was organized after the thing, come the next whatever years, whether this flooding situation will be lessened. Okay, for want of a better word, will be lessened.
With that, you can't say that.
Is that?
Let me.
With that, you can't say that.
I am saying that
it is good. Now, whilst you are charging up things through your faith or your belief, you act on it as well, because the Bible also speaks on that.
That
you understand
without,
that you, yes,
faith without
Without works.
Let's go. But
No, because it seems you were. No, but what I'm trying to tell
you. That's your
forte. It is my forte. But what I'm trying to say is that as Christians, as people who believe in God, not just Christians, but we are a highly religious country. Maybe government, and like Godwin started saying, government has started putting certain things in place to look at how best this matter can be handled.
What has government put in place?
Please, I'm coming.
Okay.
To look at how best this matter can be handled. So whilst it is being looked at in the physical, it is highly important too that it is tackled spiritually.
Spiritual.
Exactly. So whatever you believe, or whatever means, our president believes in this. And so he believes there's a need to do this. And that's why he's done it. Let's leave it.
Oh, no, as for me, I am saying that it was, I am saying that that event was ill-timed. Okay, it was ill-timed.
It could have still been done, but the timing was wrong. That's what you're saying.
The timing was wrong. The timing was wrong. You know why I'm so passionate about this? When I was on the campaign, when I was doing my campaign tour, telling the good people of this country why the obvious choice was His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, there was one sterling quality of the president that I continued to extol and preach to the people. Compassion. There is a man, of indisputable sense of compassion. Okay. Today, somebody will want to see that the president has released funds through the finance minister. This one, somebody will say it's just a natural consequence of it, because definitely funds will be released to support the flood victims. Okay. Now, what will happen will be the mitigation. Mahama said that the gentleman tasked to superintend this thing will be speaking at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And one thing, dominant in this discussion is how they say buildings have been put on waterways and blah, blah, blah. I don't know, as part of the president panoramic view that he had about the situation, he saw buildings on waterway that they could point to that this building is on waterway, go and remove it. In situations like this, you don't take emotional antidote to complex problem.
I don't think somebody has done so.
No, Mahama, I'm giving you a feedback you take to the president.
I'm saying that I don't think somebody has taken such a decision that you are trying to.
No, I am not imputing. Okay. I am not imputing that thing. I am saying that given what has taken place and given what people are saying about attitude, we say we need attitudinal change.
Sure.
I am in full support of that. I am not full support. I agree with you to some extent that we need attitudinal change.
Yeah.
But there's something. Those who litter around indiscriminately, don't we have laws? Laws that governs, or bylaws that governs indiscriminate littering.
Littering, right.
Who are those who are supposed to be enforcing those laws? They are sleeping at the switch.
Yeah.
If you have a law, you have the law because you know that some people naturally
would flout
it. Yeah. That is why the law is there.
Yeah.
When you litter around, you choke gutters.
Yes.
Do you know it's a constitutional violation?
Right.
It is in the Constitution of Ghana.
Yes.
Article 41K says that citizens of Ghana must safeguard and protect the environment. Article 41G also says that the citizen of Ghana must contribute to the well-being of the community that he or she lives.
Yes.
So if a citizen of Ghana is littering around, and the one who is supposed to enforce the law to punish that person is telling us that we need attitudinal change, have we gone or have we come back? What are we doing? The president of the republic must be aware. He must be imbued with a sense of implementing the laws of this country.
If a citizen, the statement he made some weeks ago when there was flooding, but then it wasn't as severe as Mondays, right? Where he said that
he talked about indiscipline.
The problem is the indiscipline of the people.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
Correct. You see, indiscipline it's happening because there's nothing. The enforcers of the law are sleeping on the street.
Okay.
If you see somebody, why don't we have? This is a developing country. We must have governments that are radical. Government. You see, you are caught littering. That we should even have a day where on national televisions those guys who litter around should be whipped, flogged on national television. That is what you don't want to see when you love democracy. I want to tell you, the one who lifted Singapore from the doldrums or the quagmire of poverty to the firm ground of prosperity, he said something. He said, democracy does not necessarily lead to development. It is discipline. So a democracy that doesn't have the critical component of the discipline would always stagnate. It will not bring about meaningful development. Okay. So they should stop blaming citizens for not changing their attitude. That is why we elected them. Otherwise, what's the importance of what is the essence of electing them? We elected them to enforce the laws. If Dramani is caught littering somewhere, Dramani should be punished. If possible, whip him on national television.
Just a minute.
Okay. Funny enough, the government have become the complainant.
Just a minute. You see, it's so sad when you just made this comment. The very comment we are referring to that John Mahama did by referring to indiscipline of the citizens. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo made same comment. So I'm saying that it has been a comment that most of us, maybe until now, most Ghanaians make.
Oh, so now you refer to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Please, I'm coming. I'm saying that the issue of citizens' attitude towards some of these things.
Indiscipline.
This is not the first time leaders are talking about it.
First time they made a whole campaign. Remember, a whole campaign.
Stop saying that
where a mad person was
become the complainant. Maybe unless you don't.
But the government is the complainant now.
I'm coming.
Complaining about everything that is about themselves.
When I'm done, I think you're going to give him time.
But I thought you said a minute.
No, I want to talk about one or two things. You see,
Godwin, please go ahead because I have some messages.
It becomes so sad when I hear comments like this. It took you 8 years until you lost election. Every problem about the MPP was about John Mahama. For the whole 8 years.
Tell me which of the problems. So stop. Which of the problems were you blaming on Dramani Mahama? Which of the problems?
When my brother says. When my brother says.
Which of the problems?
Please, which
of the problems?
When my brother says.
Can you please let him finish?
When my brother says.
Which of the problems? Please. No, he can't just comment in person.
Even do so. You said.
All right.
Take or pay. Yes. Is what caused you doom so.
Yes.
Until you left office, you were blaming John Mahama. I've given you an example.
I remember.
Yes. Okay. So I'm coming. Let me make those points. I'm coming, my dear.
Yeah.
You see, when you say it is ill-timed, for me, I won't fault you. It's an issue of opinion.
Exactly.
It's an issue of opinion.
They were dancing. Only Jesus can say.
Please.
Only Jesus can say. In this situation,
you're not making things any easier.
It's an opinion. What you must know is that it is a national day of Thanksgiving and prayers.
Right.
It is not only for Thanksgiving. We need to also pray
that God
for citizens and for the future. The next point I want to also make is that you see,
when you voted into office,
my brother says
you are praying that
please, Christ of Nazareth. No, I don't do this. I don't do this kind of. You see, because I'm in government, I need that time.
You are not appointee.
You are not an appointee. So what's the problem?
Please.
Let's go.
He spoke about the fact that government has abandoned the Garrett project.
Yeah.
For which the reason is that we wanted to keep our books good. It is also not true.
But that's what Ataisa said.
I said it is not true.
But that's what Ataisa said. You and Ataisa, who
so let him.
Ataisa's position.
Member of the finance committee.
And you're saying that the government decided not to implement Garrett.
You are the government that you want to tell us Ataisa is lying.
Regardless.
No, that won't pass.
No.
I said, well, that won't pass.
Let him finish.
No, that won't pass.
So if you want to tell me, didn't hear Ataisa say that on your own network?
Godwin, please finish.
See, I heard Ataisa.
What did he say?
You took Ataisa out of context.
What is out of context?
Tell us the context.
This is the whole issue. The Garrett project from the World Bank, per the assessment, you could realize that the main purpose of the money under the MPP, chunk of the money were not used for that purpose.
That is also false.
Chunk of them were not used for that purpose.
That is false.
They used some for COVID-related activities.
Go and read the report.
They used some.
So you see what I'm saying? This one's fast.
Please.
This one's fast. What is this? You want to do politics with everything?
And you get me.
You want to do politics with everything?
Oh, please. Mama, I shouldn't be the focus because
no. It's not
the focus. They are the viewers and the listeners.
No, he made that point. I'm saying that the reason why
don't struggle yourself to make him understand. He has his own this thing. Let the viewers understand.
2025, we needed to take some time. In the issues of the Gary project was that the government wanted that rebuilt confidence from the World Bank so that all the needed ways that the monies are expected to be channeled to, we needed to give the World Bank.
I may have to respond some of the issues before I read the message.
You can't say this. No, but you have your time to respond.
She must establish that.
No.
Because you see, last week I was making a point and it ended the show.
No. So let me go on WhatsApp. Master Planner Junior, Policy Analyst Kintampo says, what is Ayaba Mahama talking about? The monies that are supposed to be given to the flood victims are still in the process, yet to be dispersed. We have not forgotten of the Circle flood victims who, since 2015 to date, similar monies were allowed to be given to the victims, but majority of them have not received anything to date. Let me send warning to those in charge. This time around, if they misuse the monies, 2029, they will account for it, inshallah, because we are coming back to power straight. Just give them some time. Thank you, Master Planner. Let's move on. Let's take some more messages. Hey, my dad, I'm not a young lady. My name is Esiedwa, okay? It says, why always Mahama and the NDC? I'm not surprised at all that Selorm will be in the studio this morning and be mentioning Dzramado in 2011 at his area, asking for me whether he saw Mahama at his area on Monday. You just showed 1995 flooding with President in the water, but Mahama was flying in the air. June 3rd is Mahama's legacy, and another June 29 that we are talking about today is the NDC legacy. This is to confirm what Edwiji Tamaklo, NPA CEO, on his Facebook page, that when the evil rules, the people suffer. What is the use of the 350 million now when that could have been released to prevent the deaths recorded? Thank God the NDC and the man who is pretending to be a rice gardener are saying flood occurs every year in Accra. But forget to mention that Dzramado never recorded a dead body as we are here talking about today. The man who sacrificed 32 cows for Mahama is still in Ghana, and we are seeing the results today. Next time, Ghanaians will think twice about this wicked people. Sulemana from Navrongo.
Unrelated activities.
Let's read some more. I just realized that the person who said the Iron Lady actually knows my name. Okay, so next one, Akonsi Garibas from Tamale says, good morning, Esiedwa. I pray that the Black Stars will go through round 32 against Colombia. My only advice to our efficient coach is that he should play all the attacking football and all defending in order to win tomorrow's match against Colombia. If the coach continues with his defensive style, the Black Stars may be kicked out of the World Cup tournament. I wish the Black Stars victory from tomorrow's match. Well. All right. Moving on quickly. Good morning, Madam Host. If J.J. Rawlings can walk through water, and today leaders will be using helicopter while we, the citizens, are living in the flooding. But point for correction, but it was drizzling and JM attended Thanksgiving service. And is the president going to declare a state of emergency just like Dzramado's time? We were pushing for him to do same under his watch. The candidates for the NPP for showing leadership and touring a part of the affected flooding people. Is there a continuation? Okay, no. All right. Let's move on to the next. Ibrahim Bule, Lakeside Estate Community 8 says, good morning, it's Yedwa. My greetings to everyone in the studio. If you're being elected as a president or you have the ambition to become a president or a leader, you have to bear in mind that there will be challenges as we are witnessing what has happened. You're definitely going to encounter with natural and artificial disasters. When it's occurred, as a leader, you have to solidify with the affected people, whether it's by chopper or by a car. The president did the right thing, which he's supposed to do. What is the MPP man talking about? He should go and take our money from Cecilia Dapa, which he's supposed to use to dredge the Odona River to avoid the perennial floods during their regime for good 8 years. Okay. Good morning to you and your viewers. I think this flooding has to do with all of us. Until we all do the right thing, God will not forgive us. What do you expect when our leaders sacrifice 32 cows just to gain power after a disaster? Then they will go for Thanksgiving. Do we know the implications of those animal sacrifices? I'm Eric Ashaman. Good morning. Okay, sister, good morning. I better go. Please tell them it is not necessary. Guess that his best thinking could be the foolishness of one. Don't he think the first president of Nkrumah had planned for Ghana already? So why the NPP Gary project? Your guests should know that they think with the best brains like us technocrats and the millions who voted for him. Until we appreciate the sound we hear and see when we open our mouths, eyes will never thank Allah when he took about 40 persons amongst us. Very sad listening to Mr. Red Beret. I witnessed a lady die immediately after giving birth. God must be praised always. Amen. Saibu Kamvili. Okay, Saibu, thank you very much. Sami Boachi Asamankese says, Ghanaians are very disappointed in President Mahama. So they are telling us they are happy with the recent flood that has claimed 37 lives, and they should organize a Thanksgiving service. What was the mood when 2 ministers, including 6 civil servants, dead in a plane crash? Why did we always experience such disasters and calamities when they come to power? Look, we were warned by Prophet Owusu Bempah, their own man of God, but we didn't listen. Now see where we are. Ghana is cursed under this insensitive government. Mahama in 2028 is not too far. Regards to Dr. Bawumia, the next president, Jerry Osei-Poku, Samuel Osei-Sarkodie, Abdullah Saleh, Haja Safia Mohammed, and Atiki Yakubu. So, Hardy Pig Farm. During the election 2020, 8 people were killed in Techiman, but Dzramado did not mention it in any of his speeches consoling the family. Is the MPP man also telling the good people of Ghana that for the whole 8 years Dzramado was in office, he didn't know the flooding problem in Accra? Perpetual blame by the NPP will not solve the problems facing Mother Ghana. We must be bold and courageous enough to hold ourselves to blame. The well-being of our dear nation is far more important than placing all the blame on one political party. Moving on to the next one. Please note that all discussions about the Accra floods are true in theory. The basic issue is that the greater region is below sea level. Greater Accra region is below sea level. We need fresh capital far from the coast, from Echampo and Techiman. Okay, moving on. You terminated Zoom Alliance contract and handed it to the Assembly. On Monday, the city flooded and is now choked with rubbish. Since today, the Assembly has done nothing about the wasting gutters. The President must sack all MMDCEs. Spokesman Anubel. Right? So I believe that's it for the messages. Well, thank you to all of you who sent in your message. Gentlemen, I'm going to take a final remarks on this and then we move. Derek.
Okay, so Godwin said a few things that I think I need to...
Did I say them? Because you didn't even allow me to
This is final remark.
I know.
So please.
I just want you to understand that some of these things doesn't help. So that next time, when somebody is talking, you keep mute, listen to the person, the opportunity will be given to you to respond.
I don't need to be granted that opportunity first before I respond.
Then I can just interject.
No problem.
When I feel
no problem, because you are not my focus. You are not my target.
Derek.
You see, when it comes to conversations like this, Gordon is telling us that between himself and Ataisa, who is a member of the finance committee, Honorable Ataisa, please. Honorable Ata, if this becomes the trajectory, then I don't think you'll be able to make your final remarks. So, between himself and the Honorable Ataisa lied, and so we should listen to him. But the World Bank report that I have shared with Selorm, I can share with you a CDO as well. The World Bank report in page 9 tells us that they have downgraded the project implementation. That is the rating for the project implementation to moderately unsatisfactory due to significant delays in executions. According to the World Bank, fiscal controls introduced by Ghana's Ministry of Finance in 2025 delayed contractor payments and slowed implementation despite the projects being fully financed. This is World Bank.
Fiscal control, right?
This is World Bank.
Okay. That's the word there, fiscal control.
That's the World Bank.
Yeah, let's take note.
That's the World Bank report.
All right.
And so I said, if Ataisa comes to tell us that it is because they wanted to have good books, and so they needed to control some of these releases and some of these measures, you are here to tell us that Ataisa lied. That is on the ground. Okay. And also to talk about the MPP government diverting funds to do whatever that suited their purpose and all of that. As part of the report, as part of the World Bank report that I have shared with Selorm,
Eric, your time is up.
The World Bank permitted the government to use about $60 million of those funds in 2019-2020 when COVID came into this country. And then they refunded those monies. And that is how come we're able to do 40% of the target for Garrett. And so what are you saying? Okay,
your time is up.
And so please don't sit here and throw dust into the eyes of the people and try to create a certain impression that some people had money and then they did it for whatever purpose that they were supposed to use for, and so that is the reason why we are suffering like this. At the end of the day, we were voted out of office, and the buck stops with you now. And what are you doing about it?
Okay, Selorm.
Oh, okay, Esidwa. I just pray that the committee that has just been constituted to oversee the flood mitigation measures will execute the task, so the flooding situation in Accra will lessen. And I say to the President of the Republic that he's a unique president. He's a president that Ghana has never had. Well, this is the first time we are having a president of his nature, because he's a president who had been booted out of office and then came back. Unfortunately, when he was coming back, he crafted a message or an agenda that resonated overwhelmingly with the good people of this country, the reset agenda. So the reset agenda must always be one that will bring about something extraordinary or exceptional, not run-of-the-mill things that we constantly see. I am seizing the moment again to tell His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to exhort his appointees, especially the law enforcement agencies, that the laws we have here, the laws we have in the country, for us to stop this flooding thing, if the laws of this country are implemented or enforced to the letter, this flood situation will be in a thing of the past.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you.
Will be a thing of the past.
All right.
So that is my message to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Okay.
I wish him well.
Okay.
Godwin. As I was trying to put out,
you actually have one
out of the 130 million Ghana cedi dollars that was geared towards the Garrett project, MPP used 22 million in just the training of personnel, which forms 21% out of the 103 million. They used 7%, which amount to 7.9 million for consultancies. they diverted 60.8 million into COVID-related activities and used 1.68 million, which represents 2% of the money, to purchase vehicles. It is upon this that when the finance minister realized that, decided to do fiscal control, that the very report he read made mention of. He wanted to do fiscal control so that all the funds that will be released under the Garrett project will be geared towards the right purpose. NPP diverted most of those funds
Why are you lying on a national television?
Unrelated
Why are you lying on national television?
Please, I was quiet.
Why are you lying? No, but you can't be lying. Why are you lying on national television? Why are you lying on national television? And you want this to pass? Control who? Control who? When you are lying on national television?
Please, you
no, he can't be lying. What is diversion of funds? What is diversion of funds? In situations like this, what is the diversion of funds he's talking about? No, he can't be lying.
Don't let him
matter. But then, no, you know, I said what you can't be lying. But you've already made your statement.
He can't be lying.
You made your statement.
No, he can't be lying.
What is lies?
I have to acknowledge
my sponsor. Are you the one to assess me? I don't want to assess
acknowledge
when a report
be very careful.
When a report is black, who should be very careful? Who should be very careful? Who should be very careful? Who should be careful?
What kind of life is
who should be careful?
Arrogance.
Okay.
You are telling me lost the last election.
I'm not talking about arrogance. You are here talking about arrogance. What are you talking about? You are here talking about arrogance.
This attitude should not be allowed here.
Godwin, just make your remark and let's go.
No, I can't be making my point whilst he's still interjecting. I allowed him to speak. Control the show.
Okay. I say you are
control the show.
I'm actually done. I'm actually done.
I don't have an issue with that, but I'm saying that such characters should not be allowed here.
And you want to be allowed here?
Should not be allowed here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So it's a wrap. It's a wrap on Newsflash. Newsflash was proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. And so again, let me reiterate that this whole World Cup season, Franco Trading is giving out a whopping 40% discount on all the electronic devices. So is it air conditioning, washing machines, refrigerators, freezers, televisions of all brands, mobile phones of all brands. They have got you covered. From the comfort of your homes, you can just download the app onto your phone. They've got a new one. It's called Franco, just Franco. Download the app on your phone. It's on Google Play Store. It's on iOS as well. Download it onto your phone. Or you can visit their website, www.francotrading.com. I want to say a huge thank you to Crystal Beauty Spa for my hair and for Lots Official on Instagram. Legions of the Street for this beautiful Ghana jersey they gave me to celebrate and rock Ghana this morning. So you can follow them or reach out to them on Instagram at lots.official on Instagram for your Ghana jersey. My name is Esiedua Akomia. Do not go away. Prime Minister continues.
Newsflash was brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fie.